When Nintendo slowly started bringing more Wii U games to the Switch, everyone had their own wish lists of games they'd love to see brought to a larger audience. Bayonetta 2 was one of the big ones for many people, but I've been waiting for two particular titles to hit the Switch. Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE and Xenoblade Chronicles X were on the top of my wish list, and now half that battle is over. Atlus and Nintendo have brought Tokyo Mirage Sessions to the Switch with additional content and a lot of DLC included in the form of Tokyo Mirage Sessions Encore. For most people, this is going to be a brand new JRPG, because not many people owned a Wii U, let alone a copy of Tokyo Mirage Sessions on it. The crossover project that brought together Shin Megami Tensei and Fire Emblem ended up being a very special new IP that serves as something unexpected. Having now played it instead of being a true Shin Megami Tensei or Fire Emblem-like experience, Tokyo Mirage Sessions Encore is more of a game that feels perfect to bring Persona and JRPG fans into Shin Megami Tensei games. A lot of the design decisions are excellent and they perfectly suit portable play. The game is set in Tokyo, as the name suggests, and it features you playing as Itsuki, who finds himself involved in Fortuna Entertainment and the idol industry in Japan. The story sees him come into contact with various colourful characters who he grows closer to as the game progresses. The story feels very much like a Persona game that has crossed over into the idol industry in Japan. The story and gameplay structure even follows a similar format of modern Persona games where dungeons revolve around specific characters. Speaking of characters, the localization is great and the characters are brilliant. You interact with them through an in-game social chat and the conversations are hilarious. They even have stickers. The story is pretty light-hearted overall despite the various dark moments. The gameplay is split up into main story missions, which you can do at any time, and side missions. I love how there's an intermission in between main story chapters where you can just relax and do side missions, or grind, or just explore the various gorgeous locations in-game. Once you're ready to progress, you can move to the next story segment. While Persona games have a calendar, you have freedom here to do things at your own pace. If you feel like spending dozens of hours grinding in a dungeon, you can do so to your heart's content before moving on to the next story beat. Speaking of dungeons, they're all very well designed and have some gimmick. The best part is the game is super lenient with healing. You can teleport out of the dungeon at any time to do a complete heal before jumping back inside to progress. If you're bored of the dungeons, you can exit it and go explore the rest of the locations in the game. The game never penalises you for doing your own thing. Dungeons are full of enemy mirages that serve as the equivalent of demons or shadows in Tokyo Mirage Sessions. You can hit them in the dungeon before running into them for a first attack chance. There are also some very powerful savage enemies that are indicated by different coloured mirages, and these enemies will likely wipe your party, so it's best to escape when you can through an item. Even after playing just a few hours on the Wii U version a few years ago, I knew the combat was already great. On Switch, it is much better with the ability to skip a majority of animations during follow-up attacks. When you exploit an enemy weakness, your other party members follow up with a session skill. This is one of the most important parts of the combat in Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Enemies also have sessions, and you do not want to be on the receiving end of one during a boss fight. This adds a nice amount of strategy to even the smallest battles. You'll unlock more skills that are pretty grand to witness. Tokyo Mirage Sessions isn't afraid to show off its animations and grandiose skills. Instead of using a demon or a persona, you use a mirage that is essentially your weapon in the game. This mirage will grow as you become stronger in game, and you'll perform various rituals in the Bloom Palace that is kind of like the Velvet Room in Persona or Cathedral of Shadows in Shin Megami Tensei. This is where Tiki helps you unlock new skills and also where you access some of the Wii U DLC stuff. I love how the topic or phone section of the game will notify you when you can unlock or gain stronger skills here, so you can teleport back, upgrade and go back to dungeon crawling within minutes. This is a game full of good design decisions that respect the player's time. And the Wii U DLC available here features 3 specific dungeons you can visit to either gain experience quickly, fight harder savage enemies, or gain skills quickly. These DLC dungeons are available in the base game on Switch and will be useful. If you want to ensure all your characters are at a similar level, or if you want to just be overpowered and break the game, it's great to have this option right from the get-go, and there are also costumes you can unlock with a few interesting extras in the Switch version. In terms of gameplay additions, this release has a new quick session toggle as the biggest gameplay improvement. There's also some story content that you progressively gain access to that rewards you with useful skills or with some additional costumes. I will say that the new music is on par with the base game's superlative soundtrack. I'm very glad Nintendo is finally seeing a soundtrack release for this game. Hopefully Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is next in that regard. When it comes to the visuals, it's a mixed bag. When played in handheld on the go, it looks excellent, but there are some instances where the game looks a bit soft when exploring the overworld though. The rest of the game, including combat, all looks great. Docked is where things aren't great. It reminds me a bit of the Bayonetta ports, where the visuals docked look basically the same as handheld, which is disappointing. Performance, on the other hand, has been great. Load times are fast almost across the board as well. It's worth noting that the voice acting is very good, but I was hoping for a dub option since most Atlus games do have that option. The lack of dubs certainly hurts this release, but it has a bigger issue. It commits the cardinal sin of not having all voice dialogue subtitled. Battle dialogue is still not subtitled, so you have no idea what your party members are telling you. Barring this, the conversion to Switch, while amazing when it comes to load times, is not great when it comes to visuals. When I play docked on a 1080p display, Tokyo Mirage Sessions is noticeably soft. It's definitely best played on portable where it looks nice and feels great. Overall then, this is not only one of the best JRPGs on Switch, but one of the better Atlus games in a long time. The soundtrack is superb and the game is a joy to play on the go. While I'm not too pleased about how it looks docked and the lack of a dub and battle subtitles, Tokyo Mirage Sessions Encore is well worth your time if you enjoy great stories, excellent combat and music, and, well, own a Nintendo Switch.